Governor Hochul will fight for criminals, but not everyday New Yorkers. So as crime just absolutely spikes, not only in New York, but in a lot of other areas across the country, it's interesting to see what the individual governor's responses are. Our governor, I don't even know if he's aware of what's going on here in Washington. I don't even know what he's doing. Don't care. When he has a press conference, I'm like, okay, well, how about those Mariners? Yeah, I just absolutely zone out after how things were handled here. But Governor Hochul, with crime just going through the roof, murder rate going through the roof, she's doing some word chum. We're going to call it word chum instead of word churn. We're going to go from, what are we going from? Something to incarcerated individuals. Yeah, we're going to go from inmate to incarcerated person. Oh, you're an incarcerated person. The end of the second article I'm going to touch on here is pretty funny. Somebody indicates, what was it? They indicate, in an effort to avoid stigma, justice-involved individuals, so not even incarcerated persons, justice-involved individuals will now be referred to as Democrats. The alleged Democrat. How do you like that? How about that for a t-shirt? I think that's a good one. Alleged Democrat. Only you and I would know what that means. That was a quip made by conservative radio host Bob Lonsberry on Twitter. Alleged Democrat. He just said Democrat. Anybody in the justice system, call him a Democrat. Because they probably are. Yep. All right. Let's get back to this, our regularly scheduled program. With crime raging across the strait, Governor Hochul just showed her true priorities by signing legislation to purge the word inmate from state law. What is wrong with the word inmate? How about we just call them felons? I like that. He's a felon. She's a felon. That has a negative connotation, doesn't it? It means you committed a felony crime. You're at the tippy top. You have risen to the top of your profession. It's not merely abuse of the English language to substitute the ridiculously cumbersome incarcerated person for a perfectly fine term that's even gender neutral. It's a pander to the same sentiments that gave us the botched criminal justice reforms that are fueling our current crime spike. Albany still is worrying about criminal feelings. Why are we concerned about criminal feelings at all? Why is this even a thing? Who cares? Lock them up. How about that? How about just that? When is somebody going to get in office who's just like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care what your excuse is. You're just going to go have to serve some time. When is that going to start happening? I don't know. And as the Post reports, the city is not the only victim. Upstate is suffering too. So, I mean, what's the dealio there? Crime on the rise? It can't be, can it? Rochester's mayor declared a gun crime emergency as shooting deaths leapt 26% through June 30th over last year. More recent incidents include the hideous ambush murder of a veteran cop. That was not good. And the city's emergency rooms are overwhelmed as it cruises toward record high homicides. Syracuse jump-in shootings was nearly 23%. In Birmingham, it was 80%. In Troy, it was 100%. And murders have tripled. And yet we're doing word chum on who's in jail. Who cares? Just get them in there and keep them there. Lock them up. Yes, Hochul chooses this moment to sign the no inmate bill. Was she looking for a distraction after falling flat by pretending that judges are the only remaining problem in the criminal justice system? Why do we have such a big deal with this? Why is it that we can't just lock people up and go, hey, you know what? You broke the law. And here's the deal, and you're a bad human being. Therefore, I'm going heavy on your sentence. I'm going to try and keep you out of society for a while. This is what we're doing. No time off for good behavior. Shame on you for what you did. What's wrong with that? I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. And hopefully, midterm elections, 2024 elections, we're going to start to see a little bit of a shift in that direction. We need to, because these numbers are off the charts, not good. Embracing this empty progressive posturing is taking a side. It's not law-abiding New Yorkers. It's not who you're taking the side with. A crime-ridden state wants real action, not Orwellian gibberish. I do enjoy the writing in the New York Post at times because, they're conservative, and oftentimes they're conservative, and they will take a pop at things that are just ridiculous, like changing up the wording of who's in prison. Does it even matter? I mean, do we really, somebody does a crime, gets them into prison, into jail? Do we really need to worry about how they're feeling, about how they're described in legal paperwork? I mean, do they, after they get out, do they go, oh, you know what? I was called an inmate and therefore my, self-esteem is really low. I guess I just can't take that community college class and get my life back in order. I'm an inmate, therefore, I got to go out and rob again and probably get sent back to the can, but it's just what we're doing. No, they could give a crap about what they're called. But this is just posturing. This is nonsensical posturing is what this is. It's the way I see it. As each week passes, the governor makes the case for her tough-on-crime GOP opponent, Lee Zeldin, more and more clearly. Yeah. New Yorkers upstate and down should remember that come November. Crime's going up and you are passing legislation that changes up some words so that inmates can feel better about their position. Incarcerated. Huh. Yeah. This is insane. Who cares what they're called? Call them prison dogs. I don't care. I don't. They've committed a crime. They get what they pay for. Lock them up. All right. So here is the article that outlined this word churn. In New York, we're doing everything in our power to show that justice and safety can go hand in hand, Hochul said in a press release Monday. Okay, that's this past Monday. So justice and safety. Okay, so justice is not being carried out because you're letting these Looney Tunes just run around and do crazy stuff. And then what you are doing is you are changing the name you're going to refer to them within legal paperwork. Huh. I don't think anybody feels better about this. This is literally just, it's posturing. And it's embarrassing. Another measure signed into law by the governor Monday aims to help parolees avoid additional prison time by widening the hours that they can attend required community supervision programs. Don't care. Figure it out, kids. If you don't want to go back to the can, figure it out. I don't really care what you're called. Just don't really care. Recent political scandals involving Democrats like ex-Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin, who resigned months ago amid a federal bribery scandal, that's not good, have some conservatives thinking members of Hochul's own party are who benefits most from her ongoing reform efforts. We're just changing words to make people feel better about themselves. Does that make any sense whatsoever? It doesn't to me. I want to make the citizens of whatever city they're in feel better. Lock them up. Lock up whoever needs to be locked up. Lock them up for a long time. But no, we've gone the other way. We know you're going to be better. We know you're going to make a real effort at showing up in court. All this nonsense. And how is that working out statistically? How is that working out? Yeah, not all that great, is it? No. And you keep reading these crime stories. I'm reading some horrific crime stories right now. People just having the most horrible things happen to them. And in a lot of these cases, they're happening in West Coast cities. Don't have the manpower of the police to really follow up and, give people the protection as tax-paying citizens that they deserve. So a lot of these crimes are just, police get to them when they can, and they're doing the best they can because in a lot of these West Coast cities, they're wildly undermanned. I cover Portland and Seattle a lot, and each of those police forces is down hundreds of police officers, not dozens, hundreds. And everybody just wants to go, it's been okay so far. It'll work out. Now, there's a lot of victims out there and a lot of people who've had a lot of crazy stuff go on who would probably disagree. People who've had their property stolen, their car stolen, their girlfriend, their wife assaulted. Yeah, we don't have enough people in the sexual assault unit to really follow up on that. So good luck with that. Just crazy stuff that shouldn't be happening in 2022. And yet here we are. It's going on. And then what's going on in New York? Now, we can't have the word inmate being used anymore because inmate, why is that? Inmate, it's a person that's incarcerated. Instead, we're going to go with incarcerated person. I mean, it's just wild, isn't it? That this is a solution for something. Incarcerated person. Would you rather be called inmate or incarcerated person? I'd rather be called neither because I'd rather not be in prison and or jail or anywhere where I don't have my freedoms. But if I did lose my freedoms, you know why? Because I did something against the law. I broke the law. And so then you got to deal with it. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Yeah, nobody really goes with that anymore, do they? They're just like, let them out. Let them personal recognizance out of the system. And I'm sure they'll show back up in court. Yeah. Meanwhile, let's go with incarcerated. How much money is this going to cost to go from inmate to incarcerated person? How much money is that going to change all the forms and all the nonsense and all the computers? You can't say inmate anymore. That's a hard no-go because we might make the inmates feel bad. I'm sorry, the incarcerated persons feel bad because it's all about our feelings, isn't it? I don't really care about the inmates' feelings at all. Zero. I care about the people that they impacted with their crime. That's who I care about. But that doesn't seem like it's a very popular opinion these days, does it? No. We got to worry about the bad guy all the time. Why is that? Why are we pandering to the bad guy? Let them rot in jail. Let them do their thing in jail. And if they can turn their life around in jail, great. But I see the vast majority are just like, yeah, I'm going to go out and I'm going to reoffend again. And this is just the way it is. And it's my life of crime. And it's what we're doing. There is a small percentage of folks that do get it together at some point, but they've still impacted people. And by calling them an incarcerated person doesn't really change much of that, does it? No. Word churn. Yeah. It feels like that is the effort we're going to make. We're not going to change anything that really has anything to do with reality. We're just going to change the way that we describe it. We're going to put a little spin on it, a little spinny spin. We're not in a recession. We don't really know what the definition of a recession is. That's transitory. It's not going to be here forever. Transitory. We just spin things, make them sound better. Yeah. Inmate, it's a good word. Incarcerated person, that's some nonsense. Just go with one word. It's less. Better description. All right, that's it for me. Thanks for being here. Yeah. Silliness, right? It is silliness. Thanks again. We'll catch up soon. Bye for now.